What's up gang, Boy G here, back in another video. Some of you may be wondering, why did I purchase the RX 9070 instead of the XT variant? Why did I purchase the card if I already have the 7900 GRE? As a matter of fact, just about a month ago, right? A couple of months ago, 1 month ago. But I think you will understand my reasoning later on in this video, especially when you see the performance of this. So let's go ahead and check this out. We're going to talk about some things, right? Again, why did I purchase this 9070, or why did I choose this one instead of the XT variant, and why upgrade at all? Let's see what's this Gigabyte OC version Radeon RX 9070 is all about. Let me go ahead and unbox that from here. Gaming OC 16 gig, WindForce OC edition 16 gig of course, and AMD Radeon RX 9070. Comes with 3 years warranty. One very interesting here is the AMD RDNA 4 architecture, and of course the FSR 4, right? The support for that one. 56 compute units with generation or 3rd gen RT plus 2nd gen AI accelerators, HyperRX, AMD Fidelity, Super Resolution, DisplayPort 2.1. Minimum 750 watts or greater power supply. I do have 850, so got no worries there. But let's go ahead and check the actual looks, because all of these are pictures, but we can definitely open that up and just see it personally here. By the way, if you're not subscribed, guys, subscribe to the channel. It might help you in your purchase decision when you're out and about looking for gadgets like this. All right, simple box here. Gigabyte says you do have this paperwork here, graphics card quick guide, set that aside, and then the styrofoam and the card right away. There's nothing else. There's no fancy whatever. Anti-static plastic bag there, and nothing else on the case. Check the actual card. You know what? It's actually pretty small. The card is definitely small. I'll compare it later on to my GRE, but it's substantially small. I love the smell. All right. It's not this small. It's actually big. It's rather short. I think that's the best description. But compared to my 7900 GRE, definitely smaller than that. From this side, it has an HDMI port, another HDMI port. I love that. Display port and another display port. So my 7900 GRE only has one HDMI and all display port already. Now this one has 2 of each, which I actually prefer. It's just kind of like a 2.5 slot here, which is not bad. Very small again. And what I noticed is it's very short. It's very short. This is my existing GRE 7900. So it looks like the fans of the SFX is around 10, right? So 100 millimeter fans versus 9. I think the Gigabyte one is just a hair bit thicker, right? Or maybe it's just on the design, but this one is SFX 7900 GRE is also using 2 8-pins. On the back, it's very interesting. On the back of this is pretty cool. A lot of holes there. But the Gigabyte is no slouch either. It's also gray color matching the front, and with the logo there, Gigabyte Gaming. Opening here, I think the opening of the Gigabyte is a little bit bigger than the SFX. However, the SFX is open on the entire stuff. Now this one is actually closed. However, as far as I know, the die, the back of this die is actually connecting to this heatsink. So it's basically making use of that back plate as a heat spreader. I hope that cools the memory and all, but we'll see in our testing later on. 11.5 inches, while my SFX is actually 13.5 inches, right? So this is around 340 millimeters. Pretty sure it's around 330 millimeters, while the Gigabyte one is just short of 300. It's around 290 millimeters, right? So that is pretty cool. Gigabyte one is actually a little bit thicker, just a tiny bit, right? So 11, this one is about 12. So 120 millimeters there. very industrial look. It's actually not black. I don't know if I'm gonna love that so much. I would have loved it to be like black black. But right now, it's not black at all. But yeah, three fans, of course. The middle fan spins in a different direction. You have this Gigabyte connector protector there. That's the inside. Nothing biggie. On this side, you don't really have much, but you do have game on. This, of course, is just plastic shroud. On the top, it's just a teeny Radeon mark here, and this Gigabyte movable stuff. That's why it has this in order to hold this moving object, so it's not gonna move. But the best thing about this is you do have the two 8-pin connectors, which I absolutely love because I have the same connector for my current GPU. It's also very light. I think the cooler of this is very small, right? Very light. I hope it actually cools it perfectly. I think it's efficient this way. Moving this as well. And that's about it, right? Fans are free to move. I love that it's very exposed on the back. As you can see, the fence is actually very tall and it's just exceeding here. So this one could definitely help cool down. So this is the moving object on the top. So you can like cover the Gigabyte there, have RGB on the back, or slide it here, have RGB here. However, you're gonna cover the Radeon. So it's essentially, you know, designed like this, half or just full cover the Gigabyte. Right? That's pretty cool. And here it is, guys. It's now installed. It's pretty tiny. Again, this is my GRE 7900. And to tell you the truth, I prefer the quality of this XFX. This is like super premium, guys. The plastic shroud on the top is very hard, as if it's, you know, it's metal already. You will feel like it's kind of like metal, but it's just hard plastic, right? But the Gigabyte is actually the plastic. It's, you know, it's plastic. You would know that it's plastic, but you know, and the back plate of the 7900 GRE is really cool. Solid as well, all black. So I'm just partial on that one. But the Gigabyte gaming OC, it's not really that bad, right? It's very discreet. I don't know if you can see that here. I'm going to, you know, put some shots here so you can definitely analyze it, you know, with all of this glory. But it's very teeny, right? So it's pretty short. However, again, for my setup right now, if you can see, the intake fan are now or not obstructed, and it can definitely flow all of the you know, air that it's blowing there directly to the CPU and to that GPU. And for the connector itself, since it's right below the CPU connector there, the CPU coolers, if you notice, it's actually much cleaner, right? On my GRE, it has to like travel here, you know, pretty long. All right, now, why did I choose 9070 and not the XT? Of course, some of you already know, some of you already have your own reasoning as well. But you know, for those who are not really familiar with the 9070 and the XT variant, by default, you might think that the XT is the best buy, right? I mean, no advertisement, you know, intended, but it's the best option because it's just 50 bucks more, right? The original SRP of this right? SRP of this 9070 is actually 550 US dollars. With the 9070 XT, the big brother, costing about 599 US dollars, right? 600 bucks. So by default, they're just like 50 you know, dollars, and you might think very short, you know, if it's perfect world, you know, availability and all, that's going to be the case. The you know, XT variant will be the perfect one, but I think AMD knows that that's not gonna happen in real life. To tell you the truth, the 9070 XT is actually priced originally higher than 600 bucks, right? Possibly even $700. I'm thinking about 679, 650 originally, but AMD was watching the market with, you know, with AMD, with Nvidia, you know, messing around, and they thought maybe you can just, you know, lower the price, at least the announced price, to $599, so it may seem that the 9070 XT is the best buy or cheaper, but in reality, when they actually rolled it out with the AIB partners and all of the creators like Sapphire manufacturers, like Gigabyte, they kind of like provided a guesstimate, right, of the price that is higher, substantially higher, around 700 bucks. And that's why on the market, we're only seeing around 700, right? 750, 650 price of the XT. And those are kind of like the OC, right, premium model of this. Because what happened is AMD just lowered their price substantially, surprise, right, a couple of days before the actual release. And they just promised the AIB and the other manufacturer that they will rebate them, right, from the original price that they purchased. Because again, they purchased the actual chip higher than their original price, or higher than the expected, 599. That's why the AIB rolled out, higher expensive price. The problem about that is the 599 SRP of the XT is actually not very, very easy to get, right? Lucky you if you get one for, if you got one for 599, best option. However, getting that around $800, $900, even $1,000 right now, it's kind of like bringing you to that destination of 5080 already, or even 5090. So those are kind of like the reason why I did not choose that, because I don't want to spend so much on a video card and then see that it's powerful, it has a high FPS and whatnot. I mean, of course you spent so much, right? For example, if you paid $1,000, rather even $1,200 for a 5090 or 5080 rather, and then some variant of the 9070 XT, of course you would expect it to be faster, right? Because you paid so much. For me personally, it's like I didn't win, right? I had to pay in order to win. So it's like I didn't really benefit it. It's kind of like the value, right? I'm always after the value. But the 9070 right here, you can get it for 550. Of course, it's also inflated a little bit, but you can get this really, really low, right? 600, even $650. It's pretty cool because, again, you cannot really get the XT on that price. And not to mention, I'm not even talking about the power consumption of this. The power consumption of this, it's bonkers, right? It's just around 220, again, 220, 230 total board power for the GPU itself. And in the long run, that's going to give me more peace of mind, right? Whenever I play, for some reason, I know some of you are like me as well. Whenever I play, I activate or I enable the AMD, FPS counter, right? Most especially the temperature, right? Temperature for the actual GPU, for the hotspot, and then the memory, along with the frequency and whatever, memory utilization, CPU as well. As you notice, my CPU has, temperature and all of the status there. I really love seeing that. Now, if I gotten the XT or 5080 or other really expensive one, not only that I will shell so much money on that one, I will also constantly look on a really high power utilization, right? Around 330, 300 and up, and even like 350, 400 on top dogs for a 59 or something. It's not that, big of a deal. However, peace of mind, playing, I don't know, it's just me, right? I don't know if some of you are like me, but it's just peace of mind. I'm not gonna really be able to enjoy my game thinking that I'm pulling so much power, 350, 330, just to render those additional FPS that, from the one that this can do, right? For example, playing Cyberpunk, or especially right now, I'm just playing an older game, like Trails into Reverie. On my GRE, I'm getting around 150 to 170 FPS for 1440p, right? And it's maxing out, right? I can see the temperature is reaching 65 degrees Celsius, and then for the hotspot and memory, it's reaching 85, even 90 again at times, like I said before. And the power consumption is just peaking at 300, right? Around 270 to peak 300, 26 watts. And it's just, it's just always bugging me that, it's too hot, right? Too hot, it's too power efficient, or it's not power efficient, right? It's too power hungry. And at times, I kind of like, I don't want to play because, you know, we might have a lot power consumption, whatever heat. But on this one, imagine playing a lot of games, right? And then really high FPS, including the ray tracing one, right? But then you're just pulling like 220 watts, 250 watts at most. So you're not even gonna get that here. You're just gonna be like 230 watts. It's going to be an amazing feeling, right? Playing Cyberpunk on 4K with ray tracing, really high performance, and then when you look into the power consumption, it's just like 220 watts, 230. It's gonna be a good feeling, and that's what I'm after for. I think this 9070 is the most efficient GPU in the market right now, even beating the NVIDIA one. NVIDIA is always efficient in their card, and to be honest, AMD was never efficient, right? All of their power, all of their GPUs just like nuts on power. That's why a lot of people are actually choosing NVIDIA over AMD. But this card, not only it's powerful in ray tracing, it's also efficient. So it's like you're already using an NVIDIA card without the fear of melting cables and, you know, the bad feeling that you've been scammed by scalper or Nvidia, right? So this is kind of like the best option out there, I think. All right, so why did I upgrade? Right, I already used 7900 GRE, as you probably saw on my previous video. If you haven't watched it, I'm gonna put that in the link below. But yeah, why did I upgrade to 9070 instead of just staying on this really awesome, good-looking card? I mean, honestly speaking, I'm gonna miss you, bro. This one looks so badass. I love it on my case. Initially, I did not kind of like it because there's no RGB. But looking at it right now, it looks super classy, stealthy. I love it, right? The Gigabyte, I'm probably gonna get used to it as well. But yeah, this one is really looking cool. But I had to upgrade again because of the performance and like all of the things that I already said earlier. On the top of that, right, FSR 4. Honestly speaking, I will not upgrade if AMD only released the FSR 4 on their 700 series or 7000 series, right? If my 7900 GRE only able, right, is only able to get the FSR 4, I will never upgrade because the performance of the 7900 GRE is actually enough for me. It's really good. Now, of course, not in ray tracing, but in 4040p, it will be enough, right? However, when I know that the FSR is actually not available for that, it's just exclusive for the 9000 series, that had to make me that had made me upgrade, right? I cannot miss the FSR 4 because it really looks good, and I know it's gonna be better. You know, it's FSR 4 looks amazing already, but I know that AMD will even make it better, right, each day. So, you know, I'm pretty sure they will release FSR 4.1, FSR 4.2, whatever, you know, they want to call it. But all of those will only be available for 9000 series, 9070 and XT. If I don't purchase this right now and I keep using the GRE, that value will degrade over time and I will have a hard time selling that, right? So that's my point why I had to upgrade. Now, of course, like what I said already, power efficiency and overclockability. Since the power efficiency is very low, or the power usage is very low, that means it's not that hot, right? I can just bump up the maximum power consumption or allowed power, right? And then play around on the overclocking to be able to reach closer to the XT performance. So imagine that, purchasing a 9070 on its cheaper price, but then getting the performance of the XT or closer to XT and all of the features, right? FSR 4, all of the ray tracing, really cool, right? That's one of the main thing. So yeah, enough talking. Let's go ahead and do some testing. Again, it's already installed. I'm gonna run some games and show you right now the performance. Thanks so much for watching, by the way. I hope you enjoy this video, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Consider subscribing. I review and unbox things like this. It might help you in purchase decision. Thanks so much in advance. But right now, let's get into some testing.